Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk. Oh. It was that too early? It's a coffee talk.
It's a coffee talk.
It's a coffee talk.
Hey,
So,
Mr.
Mr. Craig,
Jason. Mm.
I was reflecting the other day on a something that really made me think, because we talked to so many agents. A lot of them work in the agency
Mm.
and on the agency at the same time.
Mm.
But I like, it made me think about when I first started, and it was crazy. That first year sucked so bad. We were working like 12-hour days, and we were never able to hit our goals. And now looking back, it was like we'd sell like 20 policies a month. And that was like, oh, okay, we need to sell 23 or 24. You know what I mean?
Boy,
It was the
I
worst
know this story
feeling.
so well.
It's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was willing to let go.
Little let
You know
go
what I mean?
talk, huh?
A little let go and put the right people in the right places and invest in the business and create systems that we can measure in order to make it run. And now we're selling a crazy amount, and there's a lot more time.
Yeah. Is there a lot more time?
Well, yeah, because now I'm not working 12 hours in it.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. There's a lot more time, but then we've managed to fill it up with other stuff. So, but
Right.
it's
But I think
perfect.
those are
Yeah.
the things, those are the things that you need to. I mean, even if it's just thinking all day of like, okay, what can I do to save 10 minutes? Like, what could somebody, a staff member or something say? How can we get them to save 10 more minutes? How can we do it? What can we
Yeah.
do to sell one extra policy? What can we do to, those are the questions. How can we make
Yeah.
things more efficient?
It's like how we were talking in the elite dudes about the every little micro change that you do can improve the result of the quote. And so the same thing here,
Dramatically.
same thing with the time and saving. You save 10 minutes over here and 10 minutes over here and 10 minutes over here. Like you can, like, all of that time literally costs money, because
Yep.
if that person's doing something that takes them backwards, well then, what, you're losing that. And if it's 10 minutes a day for the whole year, I mean, that's a lot of days. That's a lot of
Yep.
minutes, 2,000 minutes, right? How many work days are there? 240, 2,400 minutes. If it's 10 minutes a day, that adds
Yep.
up,
It
right?
reminded me of what Brad Lee said. Remember, he was like,
Oh, I remember Brad Lee. He came in hot.
he came in on, and then he said, "How many hours a day do you have?" And we're like,
We said
24
the
hours.
wrong
Like,
answer. Whatever it
yeah,
was the
whatever,
wrong
whatever it
answer.
was. Yeah, like how many hours a day do you have? And he's like, "Well, I have 800 because I have 100
Uh-huh.
employees." And I always think about that, because the way it was phrased, I think we were set up to fail, which I think is funny. Um,
What would he have said if we gave the right answer?
I don't know.
Maybe he would have
I don't
just
know.
ejected, like just end.
Right.
He just leave.
But I always think about that because it's
Yeah.
like, um, it's so true. And where we spend our time is the results that we get is from where we spend our time.
Yeah.
And if have the right people in place, our results are going to be a lot bigger.
Well, look at from a process standpoint what you could do there. Okay. If you know that at the tip of your fingertips, you have 800 hours, you can reverse engineer the entire operation, right? I have 800 labor hours right here. What needs to be done around here? What is the as the business, where are the hours spent, and how can we maximize those hours, and let's put 800 into there, right? Of course, different people have different roles and all that kind of stuff, but ours is pretty simple, right? You're either sales or service. And I think, you have 10 or 12 people. Same with me. I mean, we have 96 hours a day. So how could we leverage that 96 hours to make our lives better? A lot of agents go into this, or a lot of business owners just in general, go into business and think, I'm going to go into business because I don't want to have to work. And then instead of being smart about it, they end up getting totally into operator mode, and they're working twice as much as they would have. And then they're like, oh, don't ever go into business because you're going to end up working, 24 hours a day. And it's well, you could do that, but you also could leverage those people that you have in the office. And it goes back to what you said. You got to let go. You got to be able to hand the reins over to somebody. And if you can't trust anybody that you have, well, then you have to go find somebody that you can. And it's hard and it's a lot of work. But once that's done, it's liberating. Once you have the
It
right
is.
people.
It is liberating, and it's very liberating to think. I know if anybody feels the same way I used to feel, where it's like I'm stuck, like I cannot not work 20-hour, 12-hour days,
Yeah.
because I was super determined to like figure this out, and I was
Mm-hmm.
working so much, and like like everything that I did within those 12 hours was completely worthless for what has actually moved the business forward.
Right.
Like it was
Well,
all wasted time kind of. But
sure.
um
Well,
it's hard to get out of it, but when you do, yeah, that's the liberation.
Well, every interaction you have is the most important interaction for that person with you of the day. And so if you let them vampire you, then I mean, each interaction is going to be a half hour, an hour, and all of a sudden the day's gone. You're
Right.
tired. You've been on the phone all day, but nothing accomplished.
Right.
Right? It's crazy.
You and I know this because we do that to each other
I
sometimes.
think and this may have happened to us, but 2 hours ago, where we lost an hour
Yeah.
for something that was totally
Uh,
worthless, and we probably shouldn't have even responded. Had we not responded to an email, then a whole thing wouldn't have happened and unfolded.
totally.
That ate up an hour.
Yep.
Distraction, but then this exciting content wouldn't have come out.
That's true. So if you're an insurance dude out there and you're trying to do it all yourself,
And the
you
dudettes.
gotta, yep, you gotta step out of it, get somebody else to help you, and try to just work on the business. It will
So,
be a game changer for you.
so here's an actionable way to do that. And I can't remember. You may remember because you're about 5 years before old timers like me. Um, I love it when they call it old timers. But it was one of our guests. I can't remember, but they said, take a pad, like, one of those things with paper in it, and write down all of
Paper.
the things that take up your day, all of
Yeah.
the different things, and then figure out which of these you can just farm out, right? Do
Yep.
you pay the bills? And that takes an hour. Could you get somebody else to pay the bills? Probably, right? That's not the
Right.
best use of your time. Could you, because if you could then take all that freed up time and whatever you like to do, if you like to take appointments and do reviews, great. You have 8 hours to do that because you just freed it up. If you like to go out and go to events with a mask on and go have that talk with people, do that. But what you do is you free yourself up so you're not doing these things reactively that you have to do because you got to people please and nobody else is going to do it because you won't let go of it. But you're going to end up doing these much higher revenue generating activities.
Yep. 100%.
Ooh, 100.
100.
100.
So, gosh, I think that's it, and that's what we do
Yeah.
with the teledude. So I'm gonna plug it, Craig. We never do this.
Plug it.
But this is the
Yeah.
deal. You want to save your agent's time from all those dials that just, it's not a great use of their time. Or maybe it's your time.
Mm-hmm.
Then man, you want to get $10,000 a month. If you're not getting $10,000 a month, check out the teledudes. We'll put a link on here, live.teledudes.com, and you can check out a webinar that we will talk a little bit more about how to save some time and what we've learned from over 100
11.
interviews with
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
agents.
dials.
Oh yeah.
100 interviews with agents and 11 million dials.
There you go.
Not bad. Yes, somebody
That's
was asking me numbers. So hey, got a minute? And I responded because I'm the people pleaser. Got a minute. I responded, had some questions about analytics on all of that stuff, and they responded, "Oh, are you sure about that?" And I said, "Well, based off of 11 million dials, that's the numbers that we have."
Yep.
But you can learn more about that at
Yep.
live.teledudes.
Live.teledudes.com. Oh, and what about texting us, Craig? And which we will personally, here's another
Personally,
thing. We will
it is
personally
freaking, it's a
text
5,
you
a
back.
2, 0, 520,
Yep.
214. I don't know the last four.
2219. So that's 520-214-2219. It's our new app that basically it's Craig and I on there, and we're going to respond to you. We're going to take a few minutes each day and respond to whoever texts us, give some tips and advice. And we're also going to drop, we have a calculator right now to show you how many dials it might take. We're going to drop it to you. We'll text it to you. So sign up today. And
Not even sign up and just shoot us a text and we'll respond. Like literally one of us will respond.
Yes.
So the 3 of you that are listening right now,
all 3 of you, if you guys all do it.
Yeah, we'll be loaded. We'll have 3 friends. But I officially declare I'm not going to respond on Messenger anymore. So if you want to hit me up, it's at 520-214.
214-2219. That's
2219.
520-214. 2219. 520-214-2219. And that's a
yeah. And if you're listening to me, just flash that number along the screen for the people on the YouTubes. See ya. We'll see you next week. That was a good coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Yeah.
It's the insurance dudes. Don't turn it off, man. That'd really be rude. We're dropping knowledge on the radio, so just turn it up.
So we put together a little webinar from all the things that we've learned, right?
Yeah, totally. I love it. It was a lot of fun doing it, putting it together, and there's some really good stuff in there.
Yes.
What did we learn?
So what did we learned how to sell hundreds of thousands of premium a month using any internet leads, and this is based on a whole bunch of big dudes selling ton of premium a month, like over 1 million.
Yeah, and it eliminates that turnover, right? The staff doesn't get burned out.
It does. It creates predictable sales. Like, whoa, right?
Well, and we also learned how we can copy the processes of the big, giant, fastest growing P&C carriers and the big local agents.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
So it was fun. We put it together. It's on a website. Go to love.teledudes.com. That's LOVE.TELEDUDES.com.
How do you spell like that on the fly, Mr. Jason?
Well, it took me some practice, but it's love.teledudes.com.
You are good at that. So let me get this straight. It's love, LOVE .teledudes.com.
Love.teledudes.com. Ooh.
I love that.
I love it too. I surprised you too, Mr. Craig. You didn't know.
Tricked me.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.